In this time of the pandemic, where COVID-19 has crippled the world economies, where our government has ordered nationwide shutdown, where hospitals are overwhelmed.
Shortly after, the unthinkable happened.
I was literally stunned and frozen.
And their religious leaders are proven to be frauds. Where do you go to get all your questions answered and to hear what God has to say about this matter? You can only find the answers in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under Commanding General YAHANNA. We give you scriptural breakdowns of world events and the up and coming world war. We will show you in the Bible where the children of Israel were the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans today would suffer slavery in Jamaica, Caribbean, North, Central, and South America, and other parts of the world. We will show you in the Bible where God said he would send plagues upon the earth before he frees people from this captivity.
The World Health Organization has declared coronavirus a global pandemic.
We will give you the true teaching of the Bible, precept upon precept. To learn more, subscribe today and call the number in the description for I.S.U.P.K. Jamaica. Shalom. Shalom, Israel. Shalom, Hebrew. This is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, and is run today by Commanding General YAHANNA, the man with the rank and the authority to be the leader of the nation of Israel at this time. I want to say Yahweh Basham Yahweh Rakatam to my brothers, Yahweh Shamar Ailata Basham Yahweh to my sisters. All right. Now, big article in news in Jamaica. Well, the article is on the international media now. This was taken from Reut, yeah. I think I've seen one name Gravitas reporting it. I don't remember if I said BBC with it. But Jamaica seeking reparation will be tabling reparation requests to the Queen of England. Now, this is actually twofold. Why is it twofold? In that how long now slavery was abolished? From 18 something. 63. Something like that. All right. 100 years now. We have so-called independence 1960 when they said Jamaica became independent. So we were independent with no money. Now, why is I've never in the past we have never gone to England to table anything to the Queen seeking reparations. I think the Rastafarians spoke about it. They were one of the first sets. While the government, independence, refrain from bringing up such argument. That's one. Two, why are they bringing it up now? Now this is coming at a time. That's why I say it's twofold. It's coming at a time when we know that our government is being pressured by United States and the international community to make homosexuality legal. So this request is a little more political than we think. Now, I remember a couple of years ago, I think it was under PJ when I think it was the UK, EU. Yes, and then Obama after he said like name the politics in the Caribbean is more mature than before. Now, sometimes you do something in backfire and you still. But probably they know they're not going to get anything. So I wonder if it's the money they want, or they want the pressure for us to free up homosexuality ease off of us. It's a predicament. Right. Again, reparations. The planters, those who own the slaves and at the plantation, they got reparations and was here to keep the plantation. The slaves got no reparations and were not given the land as compensation. So, which is why that has brought onto us a culture of squatting from slavery. Right. So you find that from time to time you hear about squatters. And there was a time when I used to deal with squatting in a more hostile way, when they would just come and bulldoze without saying anything to anybody. We don't see that happening again. But they take time bringing now regularizing squatting. But I'm watching this reparation request and see how it plays out. Because let's say they get the money that they would ask. How it would reach to the people?
Right.
I don't have any hopes. Even if it reaches 20, 30 years from now, where will you be? Who knows? Well, I know. Because as long as you're not in the truth, you're not going to be anywhere better than. Eh?
You're not going to be around. If you're not in the truth, you're not going to be around.
No, you probably will be around. You might probably become a junk. A drunkard. And for those who might want, also might get, well, we don't have a culture out here, but it might just start.
They get carried away when they get the funds.
Exactly. So I have more partying, just like in Berlin. But let's say the reparation is such that some people, let's say they put some to education. Still, how much people will be able to access that? And after getting educated, after that, how many educated people are sitting at home?
A lot.
Look, man, there's one way out of this thing. Let's read the article before we say anything else. We understand what the government is trying to achieve, but how about they get to the church about who they have under captivity here? All right, this is from a press group known as Reuters. It says Africa, July 12, 2021, 9:53 a.m. Jamaica plans to seek reparations from Britain over slavery. All right, the person who wrote it, I think, is Kit Chappell. Kingston, July 12. Jamaica plans to ask Britain for compensation for the Atlantic slave trade in the former British colony. A senior government official said, under a petition that could see billions of pounds in reparations. Billions of pounds, that sounds good. All right, let's say they get here those billions and they give us better roads. How long better roads last?
Right.
How long will those better roads last? What they're going to give us that would be sustainable?
And still like yes, sir.
Yeah.
Even if the money reach, what we're gonna do? I'll just keep back to the Edens. You know what I mean? Cause I really they patronize anyway, you know. You understand? So I'll go back in the same.
Hold on, you're coming in choppy.
Okay, so like yes, sir. Look like at the neck.
You know, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to call you. Can you do that?
May I hear you loud and clear, sir?
So you're going to be on the thing there. But I need you to be a part of this. So, I need a good connection.
Yeah.
So,
all right, yeah, you hear me?
All right. So what you have to do now, you have to mute the mic that is on the screen and on the broadcast. All right. Muted. So why am I getting this? All right. Now, let's speak out there. Officer Kayadwan. All right. When I speak, just speak loud, make it pick up. All right. So what we're saying now, all right, we're going to continue reading. All right, so the writer is saying, why yeah, where feedback come from? We were a center of the slave trade, right? With the Spanish, then the British forcibly transporting Africans to work on plantations of sugarcane. When slavery just started, they never used to call us Africans. We were advertised as Hebrew slaves. The whole world knew then that we were Hebrew, right? Then they have organizations, Smithsonian Society and all them organizations who decide to do the hiding of our history. So I don't know, maybe you can find one of those old advert on the net that says Hebrew slave for sale. All right. With this planet, right, Africans to work on plantation of sugarcane, bananas, and other crops that created fortunes for many of their owners. Right. So the farmers on these plantations that we work for free got rich, real rich. Like what? Who's a real rich again? Tonto. Like Tanto Blacks would say, they got real rich off our backs. We are open for reparatory justice in all forms that one would expect if they are to really ensure that we get justice from injustice to repair the damages that our ancestors experienced. Olivia Grange, Minister of Sports, Youth and Culture, told Reuters in an interview at the weekend. Now I notice that them pushing she up in it. Now, if you remember a couple of years ago when they had a strong JLP internal race, they call she, Pernell, and some of the blacks who were vying for leadership of the party. When you have the younger Edens in the party and senior Edens in the party, refer to them as Butu. Yes, the word was, no Butu can't lead me. Right? What Butu mean? In Jamaica, when you talk about Butu, what do it mean? Idiot, not necessarily like that. They mean they don't have no social graces, no social standing. Right? Now, they call her Butu, but at the same time now, she's one of those that is spearheading the call for reparation. Maybe a Buturation, them I put her to see. So I wonder how serious, that's why I say I wonder how serious this is. All right. Our African ancestors were forcibly removed from their home and suffered unparalleled atrocities in Africa to carry out forced labor to the benefit of the British Empire. She added, redress is well overdue. Well, nobody can deny that redress is overdue. It's just that who the redress will be coming from. The redress will be coming from. Right. So basically, we made the British Empire rich. And today you have some Jamaicans in England who migrated to help to work in England at the time of World War II, when most of the men gone to war. So they bring us in from the Caribbean, Jamaica, Trinidad, and all about. And the ship was called the Windrush. That is how they talk about the Windrush Society, you know, the Windrush people. Those people were not given citizenship in England. Their children were not given citizenship. The only thing they say, well, if you behave yourself, you can stay as long as ever. So suppose, fine, me behave myself, my child behave myself, but what if my grandchild come now and don't behave himself? Who are you going to send him back to in Jamaica? And which is what we see happening. You see some people, 20 and 30 year old, being extradited from England and they have never been to Jamaica. Some say, boy, they want to come to Jamaica one time, and I went them in a little child. They don't know nobody in Jamaica. They don't know nothing about the Jamaican culture. Any country you're going in to live, there is a culture there. Right? And it's not a matter of whether the culture is good or the culture is bad. There is a culture everywhere you go. If you go in the bush, you better believe that there is a culture out there, because the animal out there going to catch you and eat you. And they won't be charged. They won't be charged for doing so. Right? So that's a jungle culture. But they don't know coming to Jamaica what it's like to live out here. But this system is putting them out by what we call deportation. An estimated 600,000 Africans were shipped to toil in Jamaica, according to the National Library of Jamaica. You don't find any other pictures?
We find one we say Igbos.
Igbo?
I mean, yeah.
Maybe I take them down, because you used to have some. You had some in the deep web.
Yeah, man. I see one as well, sir. But this is the only one we can find right now. We can't find the one that I saw before.
Oh, yeah, man. I see a Hebrew thing this. They call it a Igbo. Because they all right. To be sold on board, does it have the year on it? About 150 fine Igbos. Right, so we weren't called Africans then, you know. Free from the... Oh, this is all English.
Okay, good.
Free from the lift of danger of being infected with smallpox. I don't know, maybe they were vaccinated. But back then we weren't called Africans. Seized from Spain by the English is in 1650. By the way, I was reading something the other day, doing a little research. You know that Ethiopia had slaves?
Right.
You know that the institution of slavery was a big thing in Ethiopia. You didn't know that?
Sir.
We're not going to know, because the rest of them not going to want to know. Because they want to get to praise Selassie. Even though it was Selassie who abolished the slavery, but they had slaves and they were profiting from the slave trade.
Okay, God.
So that shows you that we are not their people. They are not our people. Because
sir, who were they enslaving? Was it us?
They wouldn't be enslaving their own people.
God.
They were enslaving. They were selling slaves to. They sold slaves to the Muslims, and they were selling slaves to Spain, right, and to other countries. It means, you know, guess when they abolished slavery in Ethiopia?
When?
1942. So, you know, we have some work to bring out on the streets. Yeah, man, when they come and talk about, we always meet them on the road and talk about, you show them it, man. We're going to show them who were those Ethiopians who they think were their people. Who they think that was our people. Nothing but a trickery.
But, yes, sir. The Muslim them are we them that enslave, you know.
Exactly.
So if the Muslim them they are buy slave from the Ethiopian, are we them that buy from the Ethiopian?
Because we know that when Jerusalem fell, some end up in Ethiopia.
Right.
Some end up in Egypt, some end up in Libya. We end up in all those North African countries, and then we start move across the Sahara Desert till we end up around. Many came along the seashore. It's a journey that takes hundreds of years.
Right.
until we reach on the west coast of Africa. Because remember, Jerusalem fell 70 AD, and we were being persecuted by the Romans. Anything named Israel was hunted down.
God.
If you were from the lineage of David, you were killed. If you were from the lineage of Aaron, you were killed. If you were just an Israelite, you were brought into slavery. If you were a warrior, you were taken to Rome, where you fought in the Colosseum.
God.
Right?
Salakia, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Salakia. After the Roman persecution, it was like a bone to the power head.
Exactly.
God.
To the point where, and that was how many of us now stop calling ourselves Israelite. Which is why today when I say to some, you know, you're an Israelite, they say, me, I'm an Israelite. And they don't know why they say that, you know.
God.
This was something that got so engraved in our DNA that we say it until today, not knowing that it was a way like how Peter did deny being with Christ to save his life. That's what it had become for us, where we denied being an Israelite because we want to stay alive. Right. When they reach the west coast of Africa now, outside of the Roman jurisdiction, and then Rome fell, you know, then we start build up colonies around there, Kingdom of Judah and other places. Then we start calling ourselves now Hebrews again. They still don't use the money of them still never say Israelite, you know. They still use the word Hebrew. Like those who were hunting us knew that they were hunting Hebrew slaves. Those who caught us and sold us, they know exactly who they were selling. Right? So when Selassie visited Jamaica and come and look and see the people, he knew exactly who he was looking at. He knew he was not looking at no one that was his. And then they have the audacity to talk about 225th dynasty of the union between King Solomon and Queen of Sheba. It's in the Bible that the Queen of Sheba visited King Solomon, but there's no record of them being together.
Right.
But she probably was a heathen war. So who knows? Solomon loved many women.
Right.
Right. So I wouldn't deny it, but at the same time, it's not our people. They don't have our culture. Right? So if he is, when Christ returns, Christ, then we deal with that. But right now, fire we burn upon them.
It's true.
Yeah. And I have a tendency to believe that it's a lie. Because
it's a lie, man.
Because of the slave trade that they maintain, which ended 1942. Right? So they would have known that, why, you know, so we don't enslave them Hebrew people. Yeah. The kings would have said, you know, says our people and people. But when England and America abolished slavery, that they were trying to abolish slavery, and they never accomplished it till 1942. And it is just like how Abraham Lincoln had said, if he could have saved the Union by not abolishing slavery, he would have done it. So in other words, now he want to put Ethiopia on the world stage. He couldn't do it while All right, you see it now?
Gone, sir. Yeah, man. Up again.
All
Yeah,
right.
man. May I see? Yeah, man.
All right, now. Britain prohibited, continue reading. Britain prohibited trade in slaves in its empire in 1807, but did not formally abolish the practice of slavery until 1834. Their parliament voted on it 1833, and then 1834 it was enacted. Right. To compensate slave owners, the British government took out a £20 million loan, a very large sum at the time, and only finished paying off the ensuing interest payment in 2015. Then they can't stop paying we then.
Exactly.
Only finished paying off the ensuing interest payment in 2015. The reparations petition is based on a private motion, same thing, by Jamaican lawmaker Mike Henry, who said it was worth some £7.6 billion, a sum he estimated is roughly equivalent in today's terms to what Britain paid to the slave holders. So that 20 million they would them use in a 18 something is equivalent to that 7.6 billion, you know. I am asking for the same amount of money to be paid to the slaves that was paid to the slave owners, said Henry, a member of the ruling Jamaica Labour Party. I am doing this because I have fought against this all my life. You know, in my Israelite wife, you know. Right, I Israelite man, but I don't know. I am doing this because I have fought against this all my life, against chattel slavery, which has dehumanized human life. I don't know, I'm not fight against slavery, no, because we have some people who go enslaved.
Right.
Grange herself declined to give a figure. The petition, with approval from Jamaica's National Council on Reparations, will be filed pending advice from the Attorney General and 3 legal teams, Grange said. The Attorney General will then send it to Britain Queen Elizabeth, she added. Well, I can't tell you this, you know. Reparations mean that they are supposed to put you in a state that you were prior to slavery. Now, if we had civilized society, we have cities, we had farms, we had skilled we have lawmakers, we have judges, we have carpenters, we have the whole works. We have people who work in those areas. We had governors, we had kings, we had all your people like that. You see why they won't end up paying with their life? Nothing that is done to the Most High people goes unpunished. And them wrong to go take the bait. If they were reading the Bible, they had a copy of the Bible, you know. And Christ said, what the word them use? Christ said that atrocity must come, but woe be unto the one who bring it.
God. They bring it now,
so guess what? It was stated that you should be punished, but woe be unto the man who, and it's them bring it on their own head because they do more than they need to do. And they are still doing it. Why you need to be lynching people? Why you need to be killing people unnecessarily. When we do it, they could then call it jungle justice. Police in America do it to not only Judah, they do it to the North American Indian, they do it to everybody. But more so we have to talk about our people. We don't talk about the Israelites or they kill Israelites in America. They don't need to do that. So when time comes for them to pay, I'm sorry for them. What goes around comes around, and it's going to stay around. The initiative follows growing acknowledgement in some quarters of the role played by slavery in generating wealth in Britain. So whether we believe it or not, slavery was all about the money. It's just that none never reached me. So the part where we see was the hardship. The businesses and seats of learning pledging financial contribution in compensation. They include insurance market, Lloyd of London. Hey, I think them definitely born out of slavery, you know. Yeah, man. Owner Green King and the University of Glasgow. The petition also coincides with increasing efforts by some in Jamaica to sever formal ties with the United Kingdom. Opposition lawmaker Michael Phillips in December presented a motion to remove the British monarch as head of state. I don't know about that, you know. Maybe you don't want to get for kill you, but actually monarch they can get for kill you as well. You don't want to kill me. We're not too sure about that one day.
Michael Phillips said that.
Yeah. Well, it's a talk that has been coming from before Michael Phillips. That is one of Peter Phillips' son. Huh?
Yes.
Northwest which parish?
Just Manchester.
Manchester.
Yes.
Okay. One redskin man. Yeah, man. One heathen man. Yeah, man. We don't know if they not plan to kill we have. You got next thing you say England pays £7 billion in reparation, and you see black man start drop dead out there like fly. Because the money come, but they don't want you get it. And then start killing you out. I don't trust them one bit. All right. Opposition lawmaker, okay. More than 15 million people were shackled into the transatlantic slave trade, according to the United Nations. Now, you see, United Nations have played down the figure. More than 15 million people. Way more than 15 million. All right, that's the end of the article. All right, take me to Deuteronomy 28. Deuteronomy 28, read verse 1 and 2.
This is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all the nations of the earth.
All right.
Verse 2. And all these blessings shall come upon thee, shall come on thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
All right. So these are the blessings if we had keep the Most High's commandment. Would we have been in slavery? All right. So this is it. If we had kept the Most High's commandment, we would have been ruling the world. But we end up in slavery. Why? Read drop down to 14 to 16.
Canada one can. This is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 14. And thou shalt not go aside from any of these words, which I command thee this day, to the right hand or to the left, to go after other gods, to serve them. Verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Verse 16. Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field.
All right. So we end up being cursed in the field, which is slavery, which is now we up farm. How much are you think of? Pest kill your crops. Eh? All right. Do you ever go down St. Elizabeth South? You ever travel to South St. Elizabeth? All right. When you go South St. Elizabeth, don't you can just travel and look and know which field belongs to the redskin man and which field belongs to the nigger. The field that is for the Israelite, you see the desolation on that field. Struggle. All right. You put the right word. Struggle. And the field will belong to the redskin man. Green. And they are side by side. And they are side by side. You wonder, how? But because you come in the truth now and now you know why it is the way it is. Because people look on the one who are struggling and say, what listen? Look on the field side of him. And you wonder, why him field can't come, but the next one coming. And the one who was struggling now probably and say, boy, you know, so the man, the bad man, I hope them out for me field, you know. You understand? Right. But this is it. The most I say, you'll be cursed in the city and we curse in the field. So that's the field. When you come in the city now, what life we have in the city? Who own the businesses? Jamaica have two major cities, Kingston, Montego Bay. And we have approximately 14 major towns. Right? Throwing in Portmore, you have Spanish Town and you have Portmore. How much are these business? How much are the business in these? Even the major towns are controlled by blacks. How much are these business? I'm not talking about the flatfoot hustling, the stall on the roadside. I'm not talking about the stall on the roadside. I'm not talking about the legitimate businesses that are making the millions.
God. How
much are these controlled by the ex-slaves? Are these reparation money going into setting us up for these business? So that's first thing, £7 billion come to Niger that will put you over the Chinese. God. And look at how they run the system. They put the Chinese, they bring in the Chinese, you know. The government bring in the Chinese and put them over with.
Right.
Right? I can tell you this. Any other money they pay, Jamaica gone in a civil war. I maybe don't reach civil war because maybe it will disappear before it reach the shores of Jamaica. You understand?
Good.
So this reparation thing, well, we're not going to draw the conclusion whether it's biblical or not yet. All right, give me more scriptures. Take me down to Ezekiel 37, 1 to 14.
Canada one can. Canada one can. This is the book of Ezekiel chapter 37 and verse 1. The hand of the Lord was upon me and carried me out in the spirit of the Lord, and set me down in the midst of the valley, which was full of bones. Verse 2. And caused me to pass by them round about, and behold, there were very many in the open valley, and lo, they were very dry. Verse 3. And he said unto me, Son of man, can these bones live? And I answered, O God, thou knowest.
Continue.
Another one gone. Verse 4. Again said he unto me, Prophesy upon these bones, and say unto them, O ye dry bones, hear the word of the Lord. Verse 5. Thus saith the Lord God unto these bones, Behold, I will cause breath to enter into you, and ye shall live. Verse 6. And I will lay sinews upon you, and will bring up flesh upon you, and cover you with skin, and put breath in you, and ye shall live, and ye shall know that I am the Lord.
All right. So here now Ezekiel now get a vision about some valley of dry bones. They weren't on no mountains. You know, when the Bible talk about mountain, talking about government. So they were in the valley. They were not in any government, not in any position of rulership, not in any good position. They were in the valley. And they asked, the person, the angel that was showing the vision unto him said, Son of man, can these bones live? Ezekiel answered and said, You know. I don't know, you know. And he said, all right, prophesy unto these bones. It's by speaking unto these dry bones that they begin to start get life in the form of life. That's why we go on the street corners. We go in, we have classes. We speaking unto our people that is out there that is lost. They are the dry bones that we are trying to wake up that they may live again. And how do they live? By we injecting the law, statutes, and commandment of the Most High once more into our people. Continue reading.
Another one gone. Verse 7. So I prophesied as I was commanded, and as I prophesied, there was a noise, and behold, a shaking, and the bones came together, bone to bone, like a bone to his bone. Verse 8. And when I beheld, lo, the sinews and the flesh came upon them, and the skin covered them above, but there was no breath in them. Verse 9. Then said he unto me, Prophesy unto the wind, prophesy, Son of man, and say to the wind, Thus saith the Lord God, Come from the four winds, O breath, and breathe upon these slain, that they may live. Verse 10. So I prophesied as he commanded me, and the breath came into them, and they lived, and stood upon their feet, an exceedingly great army.
All right. Continue.
Another one can, verse 11. Then he said, Hey, Son of man, these bones are the whole house of Israel.
These bones are what? These bones are?
These bones are the whole house of Israel.
So these bones are the Israelite, the entire 12 tribe. That's why I said the whole house of Israel. So from the time of Ezekiel, we know that the whole 12 tribe is going to get dead. And when we say dead, we mean lost from the culture of being an Israelite. From the time of Ezekiel. But the Most High had promised that he will not leave us without a witness. So he sent the prophets to tell us what was going to happen. So when it started happening, those who were who are to be his what's the word again? Or to come to be the tower of strength in the nations, understood what was going on. Yeah, because when the Holy Spirit came in 1969 to teach those 7 brothers, because they were ready to receive the teaching. There were those before them who understood that, yeah, we are Israelite, but they don't understand what to do and the entire scriptures. So some of those who understood that, yes, we were an Israelite, it was 7 brothers now take themselves from among the fake Israelite, Jewish white people, because prior to 1969, if you realize that you were a Jew, you could go and join with yourself with the white Jews, you know. You could attend their synagogues and things, even though you were relegated to a different section from them. So they didn't even take you as equal in there. It's just like the church. So they now look at them and they realize, you know, we and these people are not the same thing. And they were able to pull themselves out. And lo and behold, right on target, the Holy Spirit was right there to teach them. And hence the truth was reborn, 1969. But the 50 odd years now, we're still doing the work that Ezekiel talked about, speaking to our people, letting our people know that, yeah, you are the children of Israel. Come back to the Most High. Continue.
Then he said unto me, Son of man, these bones are the whole house of Israel. Behold, they say, our bones are dried, and our hope is lost. We are cut off for our parts.
Right.
Verse 12.
Because some of those who realize, because I've heard some say, but let me look on the land. What we can go up against them people there? And then we're going to do it. The Most High said, He is going to do it. All you need to do is follow the law, statutes, and commandment. Prepare yourself and sit down. That's all. You don't have to lift a sword. The only thing you need to lift is the right food to your mouth. I mean, you have to find some work and go and do some work, yes. You have to feed us, you have to feed ourselves, but we're not lifting up any sword against any nation. Christ will be doing that.
God.
All right, continue. Take it home now.
God, verse 12. Therefore, prophesy and say unto them, thus saith the Lord God, behold, O my people, will open your graves and cause you to come up out of your graves and bring you into the land of Israel. Verse 30. And ye shall know that I am the Lord, when I have opened your grave, O my people, and brought you up out of your graves. Verse 40. And shall put my spirit in you, and ye shall live, and I shall place you in your own land. Then shall ye know that I, the Lord, have spoken it, and performed it, saith the Lord.
Right.
Verse 15. Slap.
40. We're stopping at 40.
Okay, good.
So the Most High is saying that when He put we back there, then we are going to know, say, it's God that have spoken it and has done it. So, no amount of money not going to put us in a position to be anywhere better without we coming back to the law, statutes, and commandment of the Most High. Now, We need money. Of course, we need money. But you ever notice a man who come up poor and he come up and he start with some money in his life? When Christmas come, what first thing him do? Start celebrate Christmas, eh? What kind of food him put on the table?
Lobster.
Thank you. All the food where we should not be eating. Right, and his pork too. When Easter come, what him do?
Easter bun.
Full up yard with bun and cheese, and him have bun and cheese gift to give all him friends. But when him did poor, what him do? When Christmas when him eat? Just eat one chicken. Yeah, a big meal that for him. If him used to stew it and curry it, that day him try and French fry it. You know, or him bake it, prepare it a little different. But him can't afford the ham. So him don't break the last. But as soon as him get some money, yeah. Well, it's the same thing. Anyhow, then get that 7 billion. You see how many countries come now want to be friend of Jamaica. You see how much countries, because there was a time when we were referred to as the crown, the jewel in the British crown, you know. Meaning of all the colonies that England would have had, Jamaica was the most prized to them. We had the largest plantations, the best rum. All right. You look what has been happening since what is called independence. If our politicians really had meant good for us, we could have been better. But you see, there is so many instances where even the same female there that is talking about reparations, you know, well, one instance she was locked up, but I saw an interview where she said that, you know, like black people back in subjection. That is in the 70s after with the CIA thing, CIA intervention. You know, back in subjections like the way it should be. I'm listening and I said, so hold on. You better she didn't say anything. I mean, you should know better now, but she just speaking that to appease the oppressor. But why appease the oppressor? There's nowhere in the Bible that tells us to appease no oppressor. We are not to appease them. All right, you just read Ezekiel 37. Take me to Matthew 24. Matthew 24, verse 3.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world?
Mm-hmm. So the disciples want to know tell us some signs when you're coming back to look for, and when the world will end. Not the earth, but the world, which has to do with civilization, which is certain age or certain society. When would that time come? They wanted, I would want to know too, if I was there, I would ask him the same question. Drop me down to 15 to 18.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 15. When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation, spoken by Daniel the prophet, stand in the holy place, whoso readeth, let him understand. Verse 16, then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains. Verse 17, let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house. Verse 18, neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes.
All right. So at the time of Christ is telling that when you see this which Daniel spoke of abomination of desolation, which is at the period of time when the country would be invaded and there would be what's the word? Sacrificing pigs on the altar. This happened in the time of Maccabees, and it come again and happened 70 AD in Christ's time, which means that in the time of Maccabees, when the Grecian invasion, Jerusalem was to fall, but the Most High said, no, I'm not going to let it fall because the Redeemer don't come in, which was Christ. So in the time of 70 AD, the Redeemer already come, so never send any Savior at that time. But the Savior now, the Redeemer, Christ, tell his disciple, anytime you see the abomination of desolation taking place stand in the holy place, meaning right on the altar in the temple, and go slaughter a pig. That's what the Romans did, you know. Then let them which is in Judea flee into the mountains. Mean that you went in a country, nobody have say I go fight, just run to the bush, take to the mountains. And we know that mountains that he was speaking of, he was referring to the mountains towards Africa. All right, we have records of that even outside of the Bible. Babylon to Timbuktu, page 84. And if we read from the second paragraph, it says, in the year 65 BC, the Roman armies under General Pompey captured Jerusalem in 70 AD. General Vespasian and his son Titus put an end to the Jewish state with great slaughter. During the period of the military governors of Palestine, many outrages and atrocities were committed against the residue of the people. During the period from Pompey to Julian, it has been estimated that over 1 million Jews fled into Africa, fleeing from Roman persecution and slavery. The slave markets were full of black Jewish slaves. Ethiopia take part in that too. Ethiopia had slaves from something under BC. Long time. From when it was okay to have slaves. And we know that time coming again. So in the article, we are referred to as African. That is erroneous. We're not Africans. Right? We were taken from the course of Africa. Now, if you go and you have a child in a pig pen, does that make the child a pig?
God.
Exactly. So we being born in Africa does not make us Africans. The white man gets smart and start to pin you. And to show you that this is a lie, because we have Jamaicans born in the land of UK, in the UK, that they don't give citizenship to. They are not recognized as British. They still can't want to call them Jamaicans. Well, it's the same principle the Most High applying. We are Israelite wherever we are born. He said that he will scatter his people all over the globe, to the four corners of the earth. Right? And who is the one who is bringing us the atrocity? The same one that is in the land, same set of people in the land now, calling themselves Jew, Esau's descendants. So all of those people, they are the ones bringing the atrocity to us. They were the ones in Rome hunting us down. All right. So when maybe that's why Italy wanted Ethiopia, you know, because them go start, you know, them is part of the Solomonic dynasty. So the Romans say, you know, long one kill out Solomon people, maybe that's why they go invade them. But after they go down there, then she say, no go so. So England helped them to fight off the Italians. All right. Zechariah 13:9. We take time looking at, so we look at who was really brought into slavery and how we're going to really come out. Come say Zechariah.
This is Zechariah, right?
Book of Zechariah, right?
13.
Chapter 13, verse 9.
Canada one can. This is the book of Zechariah, chapter 13, verse 9.
Hold on, stick up in. Go to 8. Start from 8.
Canada one can, verse 8. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord, 2 parts thereof shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein.
Continue.
Verse 9. And I will bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, the Lord is my God.
Right. So when these dry bones get life now, and the wind start to blow that breath of life, which is the law, statutes, and commandment, they start come to class. Right? And you being coming through the fire now, you come and you hear that you must not eat pork. And pork is something you love. And you sit down in a class and you listen. And it'll burn you. You love smoke. And you hear that you must not smoke. And that'll burn you. You love sleep with whores. And you hear that you must not sleep with whores. That burn you. So the sins that you love, and you come to last, and you hear we have bonfire upon them sin, they make you know, so you need to cut those things out of your life. That's the fire that you go through. The change from the world into righteousness. Right. It's not easy. So that's how we know. So this part can't fulfill in the church. Because of them say, they come in sin and they come in the church and do cry about it. Oh Lord. Come on, some of the biggest cries in the church, you know, the biggest sin of them. You know that?
God. God.
True or false?
True.
True that.
Insist. Yeah, man. That's how it is in the church. But this is how now you've been tried and put through the fire and come out as silver and being refined as silver is refined. You come to class. Yeah. And you come and you hear that you can't love the white man. I mean, subconsciously you love the white man so much when you come and you hear say white man have no restoration to get from the Most High. Burn you. You sit down and listen and you turn your head one side and blow and skirt them attacks, man. Nothing can go so. And you come and you hear that Christ died only for you and not for the whole world. That is the next thing that will burn you because all the days of your life are years. Jesus died for everyone. And then we come and we tell us, say, sure in the Bible where it said, Jacob I love and Esau I hate. He said, no, man, something wrong in the Bible, man. God love everybody. Like the young man who, when we show him Matthew 1, the descendants of Jesus. He said, no, man, something wrong, man.
Oh, what that?
Yeah, something wrong here, something wrong in them head. The genealogy. Christ's forefathers. show him which lineage Christ come from, and show you say the Bible did show you who Joseph Christ's father come from. Yeah, the Bible not telling nothing about no spirit get Mary pregnant. Then put it their way. So when this 1/3 come into the school and they hear this, man, it's like fire. Spirit turn upside down. Yes. And when the woman them know who in the world, they tell us women are strong and women are leaders and women are this and women are that, and you come in here and you tell them, no. Women must be silent. I would want to have to. So this is the fire putting you through what is the law, what you should be going through. This is the reparation that you're going to get. This is true reparation. Right? We seeking a bag of money ain't gonna stop you from eating pork. It's gonna make you buy more pork. It's not going to stop you from eating lobster. You're going to make you start have grilled lobster with conch. It ain't going to stop you from sleeping with wars. It's going to let you know support the wars because you have more money. Right? It ain't going to make... Right. It ain't going to make the woman being subjected to their husband. They're going to say, I am independent. I don't need you. You know, the Black American. I mean, you know, there's a lot of our Benjamite women will take time taking off the style of the Black American women.
God.
Yeah, man. So this reparation that they are seeking not gonna redeem us. How about if they run out them white people out of the land and give you back the land and call it reparation? I say, okay, we're doing this for you. But you know who put them white people in there? Yes. Who put them Jewish people in Ireland? England. It was the UK who backed them. Yeah, but which one? Right? It was the UK that backed them. The British. So you think that they are going to give us some money over them people who look more like them? Remember, you know, it was crafty counsel that they took. As a matter of fact, let us read that one where they take the crafty counsel to come up against us. And we'll find that again. Psalms
must 83.
Come, let us cut them off from being a nation. (83 and 4). Book of Psalms, chapter 83. All right, 83, 2.
Slakia. Verse 3 to 5.
All right, we'll go down to 7. 8. Go down to 8, 3 to 8.
Gun. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 83, verse 3. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and have consulted against thy hidden ones. Verse 4, they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
Right. So they find us hiding, ain't it? We were hiding on the west coast of Africa. So they were planning to enslave us. And they take crafty counsel against us, consulted against us while we were hiding. We were the hidden ones, you know. Because they were wondering, how is what them people are gone? They know they were on this side of the world again. So how is what them doing? That was what Columbus was searching for, you know, the 12 tribe. We want to talk about him.
Columbus.
Yeah, after him read second Esdras, which tell him that the northern kingdom gone into one place named Ashtoreth. Ashtoreth. And then them use them little wisdom and find the possible way that they are. And find say they are around us, so they come. I remember them they used to enslave the people around this in the Americas first. Probably about 100 years before. And then 100 or 200 years before them come to the west coast of Africa to take us, we have, you know. And then after now, they find the southern kingdom hiding in Africa. And said, what, them wanna box strongs, man. Them wanna box stronger. Use them wanna. Same people them.
Be work on
Yeah, man. That's how it is. So they took crafty counsel against us to put us in slavery. Because they want the name of Israel to be no more in remembrance. You really think they will take up $7 billion, Gary? Have you see that?
million pounds. Billion.
Billion pounds.
How much is it?
Holy. 1 billion. 1 billion pound. The pound they are what? $200 now?
What you going to Google?
Yeah, with the US they're about 150 approximately.
One pound.
US dollar.
Oh, US.
The pound they're approximately $200. So 1 billion pound, you look at approximately 200 billion Jamaican dollar. Multiply that by 7. You talk about trillion of that Jamaican dollar. But that's all like it IMF debt. That's all like the debt where they put over the country.
And yes, sir.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That seems like a small amount too, when you check it. You know what I mean? You're right when you say they're not gonna give you so much money, but them owe way more than that. You know what I mean? That coming like them I take it light. You understand?
Yeah. There's those who asking. It's like them just ask them. It's like they're just asking for the debt to be written off.
God, right, God.
Come like that them asking for.
Yeah, man, like that, man, they want to be borrow again.
So that they can start borrow again.
God. Joke thing, man.
Where are you? Verse 1.
Verse 5.
All right.
Verse 5. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. Verse 6. The tabernacle of Edom.
The tabernacle of Edom. Edom is where? That's the white man.
God.
Yes, the Ishmaelites. They are the Arabs. Continue.
Another one gun of Moab and the Agarines.
So more about the Chinese, the Agarines. I'm not sure they are, but I think them near where the Ishmaelites them there. Probably descendants of Agar, I'm not sure. Gibal, I wanted a set of people near the Arabs there. Ammon and the Japanese. Amalek, that's the those are in the land now. The Jewish man. Still the Edomite, you know. But they would be like how Judah is the ruling tribe. The Amalekites were like the ruling tribe over over Esau people. Them. Many of them they are sitting there now. Not, well, they kick them out of Germany. But they were the brain in Germany still. Philistines, that are some are Anti, those are some Africans. So which nation missing here now? And verse 8 still tell us that I.S.U.P.K joined with them and so which set of people from the earth missing who never did take part in our demise? Can't even think of any. Elam. Only Elam I don't see here so. But Elam did their part.
Right. Elam did part today.
Yeah, man. All right, so continue.
Verse 7. Ibal and Ammon and Amalek, the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre. Verse 8. Assur also is joined with them. They have all been the children of Lot. Selah. Verse 9. Do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin at the brook of Kisan.
All right, so this is the plot against us. There's no reparation there. No reparation is in that. They sit down and they plot against you. And hello, today the riches between Europe and America is great, you know. These people are rich beyond measure. Hello, they're not gonna make you know how rich them be. But the riches in this kingdom is beyond measure. Remember, America is the richest country that has ever come on the face of the earth, you know, because they have the 12 tribes.
Next which is 12.
Probably at China. And China have some Israelite in a Beijing. The black Chinese them, some black Chinese there, you know. Israelite them, there are more of them, you know. Right? So you can remember there is Israelite in every country in the face of the earth. That is why I don't have no qualms in saying that Ethiopia was enslaving Israelites, because there were Israelites there, true Israelites was there. I mean, no, it's not. They were the ones on the throne. Them, and it wasn't them on the throne. So I don't know what I'm trying to tell you. So Romans 12 and 19.
This is the book of Romans chapter 12 and 19. Here, beloved, avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath. For it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, saith the Lord.
All right, so when we read these in the New Testament that vengeance is mine, and you say you as a Christian now, you know, they'll never tell you this like it's talking about slavery. They tell you this in the church as if, you know, the man who has done you wrong, you must revenge him. They don't tell you like, boy, you were enslaved, but don't go and take vengeance for the slavery that you suffer. The Most High will take that vengeance. No, they don't teach it. They don't tell you that. Why? Because Who was it that interpreted the Bible to the church? He was the slave master. So he's not going to teach you that the Most High is going to take vengeance on him. You understand? He ain't going to teach you that. So he'll teach you that the revenge that the Most High is talking about is between you and the next man out there who you have a little war with. So in other words, don't go and take up gun and shoot him. We shouldn't be doing that. But that's not that. This is not what he's talking about. He's talking about those nations that have harmed you. No matter try and go and avenge them. Most High is going to take vengeance on them. All right, that's Roman. Go down to Isaiah 14 now. This is when he will begin to restore us.
Start at verse 1.
Yeah, man, 1 and 2.
Another one can. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 14 verse 1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them. And they shall cleave to the house of Jacob.
And what shall be joined with them?
Strangers.
All right. So we know that in the Bible, the strangers it refers to strangers of our own people and strangers that are of other nation. Right?
God.
So we know that we can say it's not talking about the strangers of other nation. Oh, because it says they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. So it's not talking about the stranger that is within Jacob. It's talking about the stranger that is not of Jacob, which is the other nations. So the Most High is saying he is going to put out. This is a reparation, you know. This is true reparation. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And the stranger shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. Now, verse 2 will tell you how these strangers will be joined to Jacob. Verse 2.
Verse 2. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids.
For servants and what?
And handmaids.
For servants and handmaids. Who is a servant? You know that the work that we're doing now. We say we go to work. We are actually being servants to these people. Even though you get a pay, that's why you end up being money not enough. You're just being servant to who you work for. So we go and we get one little work here, so we're being servant to them. So here now it's instead of that these people now them go and work for you. So these riches in the cities is you going to have them, and these people work for you. Shall possess them for servants and handmaids. Continue.
Another one can. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors.
So you ruling over your oppressor, that is reparation.
Right.
That is reparation. Not that $7 billion that they're talking about. Guess what? If it didn't come up to £1 million, you know, they still wouldn't want to pay you. Right? And we still don't know if they're really going to table it, because it's all over the news and it don't even table it. So maybe they are just blowing the sound, say, that's the politics, you know, blowing the sound to say, if you continue pressuring us with the homosexuality, we are going to table this. 7 billion pounds. So in any case, we is the pawn. We are just pawns.
Bargaining chips.
We are the bargaining chip. And rightfully so, because we are the ones who bring the wealth in the kingdom. So that makes us really and truly the bargaining chip. But guess what? There's nothing in it for you. There's nothing in it for you. What did we get out of independence? You look around, the other nations still rule everything around you. You still can't get a bank loan without you go through some serious, I don't even know, tests which them know you can't pass. As a matter of fact, they frustrate you. They answer, carry XYZ come on, you carry XYZ. They say, all right, carry ABC come, you carry ABC. They start back over the alphabet again. Everything they ask for your carry. Then can't just give you a list and say, carry all these things, and you go and you find it. Carry this come, carry that come, one. Till you get frustrated and just say, you hear me? Not bother with this, but then go on, but then stay with it. This is how the banks works. So we are in no way free. Call actually, or share your phone. All right, so that's what? That's Isaiah. Still in Isaiah, go to 52.
Another one can.
Isaiah 52, 1, 2, 6. So watch this now. If the Most High did say we are getting a slavery, and it happened. Here he's saying that we're going to rule over those who put us in slavery and did have us under oppression. You think that's going to happen? You don't think so? Yeah, I think the Most High can deliver that.
Yeah, the Most High can. Yeah.
Yeah, then he might do it, I know we are going to do it. I know we. That's what is in the scripture. That he is going to make you rule over your oppressor. Isaiah 52, 1 to 6.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 52, verse 1. Awake, awake, put on thy strength, O Zion. Put on thy beautiful garments, O Jerusalem, the holy city. For henceforth there shall no more come into thee the uncircumcised and the unclean.
All right, so this is telling you now, Jerusalem here now, this is the people. Put on thy strength, O Zion, put on thy beautiful garment. What is our beautiful garment? Our culture. Get back into our culture. The holy city. For henceforth there shall no more come into thee the uncircumcised and the unclean. So the Most High will begin to make his move. And as a matter of fact, the thing him start, COVID look like it's from him.
God.
Continue.
God, verse 2. Shake thyself from the dust. Arise and sit down, O Jerusalem. Loose thyself from the bonds of thy neck, O captive daughter of Zion. Verse 3. For thus saith the Lord, ye have sold yourself for naught, and ye shall be redeemed without money. Verse 4.
We shall be redeemed without what?
Without money.
So you see?
See that?
So you see?
God.
It's not biblical that we get any monetary reparation.
God.
It's not biblical.
Right. Right.
So that is why you know that even if some money change hands, trust me, it not gonna reach you. And it not gonna make you any better. Because true redemption is, as a matter of fact, the amount of them owe you, them go have to pay with them life. That's why I'm saying you shall possess them for servants and handmaid. Right? And you're going to make them captive whose captives you were.
God.
So when England, when Tony Blair come out here and I tell you about, forget about slavery. And at the same time I tell you forget about slavery. He might make an offer to build a prison out here. A state visiting company. So them come as a state man control dirty water in your face. These people have no qualms, no, they don't bat an eyelid for call you a dog. So because of that, the most I say you go and do back the same thing to them. Remember, you know, when they bring down our kingdoms, you know, it was kings and princes and princesses that they brought into slavery. And I know Bushman has then tried to tell you.
Right.
But them like they can catch you out of bush. Like the white man can they love hiking and them things there. But if you notice when them going to hiking, you know, for them the trail have to be wide enough for them can walk. They're not going to no bush to catch nobody.
God.
And then they tell us, but wasn't it the black man who sell the black man in slavery? No, that was another low blow. Because we were hiding in there amongst the Africans, just like the Ethiopians, they sold us into slavery. Right? And that is on record. As a matter of fact, some of the leaders them start apologize now. Because they realize that we know. And you have a lot of black Americans who want to go into Africa to do business. But if they know what's good for them, well, it's difficult to tell them to stay over there, you know, because each time you go you in America as a black American, as a black man, and you are to go on the road, you know. First thing lick your mind, you know, will I be the next George Floyd? Will I be the next? Tell me some of the names that some of them are going to kill.
Eric Gardner.
Will I be the next Eric Gardner? Right?
Mike, bro.
Will I be the next Michael Brown? So you can't go out in peace. This is why in the curses it says you're not going to have any ease in these nations amongst these people who the most are going to send you into captivity because you did not keep his commandments. So if we seriously want reparation, all we have to do is keep the commandments.
God.
That doesn't take it. Reparation is not we sitting down, putting pen to paper to determine how much money the Most High's people is worth. These people are not yours.
God.
It's not for you to determine how much money these people are worth. We are worth $7 billion. You want a kick in the ass. £7 billion. We're worth way more than that.
God.
Right? Because one, they have put us not only in slavery, but then put us in sin.
Right.
Right? What kind of food you getting to eat? You're eating off the master's table. You're eating the crumbs from the master's table. How? How are you eating the crumbs from the master's table? You know that a lot of in Jamaica here, because we have plantation, we have people who do their little farming and take it to market. You can go to the market and get fresh produce at a reasonable price.
Not so in the States, you know. You see, the fresher the food be, is the more money you pay for it. Yeah. The fresher the food be, is the more money you pay for it.
Then still, you pay less money.
You pay. Couple days before it expires, 2 weeks, a week, it costs a little less.
Like I said, but even in our local market, that's the same approach that the vendors take.
The vendors, but you know, must buy for them. If you go early in the morning, you get fresh produce. They can't get fresh produce. So what they do, them take the food. If you go you shop where the white man shop, prime food you get. Prime fruits and vegetables and ground provision. After a while, them take them from this and carry them to the other supermarkets where they so expire. That is you eating off the master's table. So Christ now he say, remember when Christ said, oh, he can't take the children's food and give it to the dogs. That they are treating you now like dogs. Giving you the crumbs off the master's table, that's them food will soon expire with them give you for buy. That's the crumbs. Because guess what? That come off of the master table. That now in a film supermarket. That now in a film supermarket you go buy. That is why you have certain brands of supermarket where them buy from. Right? This is how the system is structured. So you want true reparation, you go have to keep the commandments. So that the most I can put them back in slavery. Then you will be restored. Because one is not only your labor, them take your land. So where are you going to go? You don't know where to go. We can't call Jamaica our own, you know.
Right.
When you own a country, you own the prime lands in the country. When you own the ghettos and the bayou and the reservations, you can't be the chair for your country. Those are the areas where the wild animal are something they're supposed to live. Maybe that's why so much rats in it. Wild animal living in, and so much roach. But you now believe that the Most High's people is worth approximately $7 billion, or worth an equivalent, an equivalent amount that you had paid the owner of the slave. So basically, the only thing you're just asking for now is asking England to write off our national debt, so that you can get to rack up some more money. Because we know what many of these monies was spent in the 70s. If they had mean Jamaica real good, Chavez gave us an oil deal, you know. Remember Chavez oil deal the name again? What is the name again? The Venezuelan oil deal. They gave it a name. And the oil deal was this. Chavez said, we buy oil from Venezuela. A percentage of the money goes into a fund. Petro-Caribbean deal. A percentage of the money goes into a fund known as the Petro-Caribbean Fund, which you are going to go borrow at maybe 1% per annum. And it stipulates you can use this money in development and so on and so forth. Who was it that had access to all this money? All the Edens. No Israelite have no access to the money. So you're going to ask for some more money now. They're going to, that'll find its way into your pocket. Well, I would like to see it. I pray that if it's going to pay at the most, I give me good health and strength and a good mental capacity that I can really see it. And see it go into your pocket. Say, okay. And then I see what happened to you after I go into your pocket. It's just like winning the lotto. If you win the lotto and you're in a ghetto, you can't stay in there. they're gonna have to leave, man. So many of these people, if it even pay, they will migrate, go back to England. Because first and then they probably tell us, all who take the reparation can get British citizenship. If there are so many ways to shake you up with it. Yeah, so many ways to mess you up with this money, with money. So you think they might just take up that, give you no strings attached? I would have to see that. True reparation with no strings attached is keeping the Most High's law, statute, and commandment for the Israelite. So that the Most High may throw your oppressors, punish your oppressors the way he sees fit. All right, that to finish Isaiah, right? What verse? What verse is it? Verse 6. Oh, I think that was 4 was the last. All right, drop down. Verse 6. Read 5. Read 5 and 6.
Another one gone. Verse 5. Now therefore, what have I here, saith the Lord, that my people is taken away for naught? They that rule over them, make them to old, saith the Lord.
All right, so how we make we old? How we make we old? When I cry about, what the word did you use again when we talk about the farmers? When you said you can't tell about the farm, struggle. They make us to struggle, and during the struggle, where you do your ball. That is the whole, that is this is talk about. They make us to old. So therefore, what have I here, said the Lord, that my people is taken away for nothing? When you took us away, what did you get? What did we get? We never get anything. The Africans didn't get some money. Ethiopia get a kingdom out of it. Okay. At one point, when the slave was high, in slave trade was high and profitable, the record says that Ethiopia made good money out of it, out of the slave trade. And they weren't selling their people in slavery. If not, I would have brought for it and look like you half starving. When man starving for it, broad and then teeth kin. Because even when we little, we used to look on and say, remember when they used to show we at school, and I said, people don't look like we. But we used to say, maybe because they're hungry. But no, it's not because they're hungry. They're just not our people. They are from a different nation. They are one of our oppressors. And it's good when we can identify our oppressor. All right, and verse, finish 5 and then 6.
And my name continually every day is blasphemed.
Right. 6.
Verse 6. Therefore, my people shall know my name. Therefore, they shall know in that day, that I am he that does speak. Behold, it is I.
Exactly. So in that day, what is in that day means? When the Most High start to make a move against them. So much flooding, saying, well, we can't even talk about that kind of thing. Some flood power the other day. But who get the Most High this time? It wasn't so much the poor people get it this time. Normally when flood lick Jamaica, poor people get washed away. And you see some car, all in Europe and China, you see some car turn on them side. Germany wondering when they more really get over these flooding. Because and the poor people get licked over there now. And the built up communities get licked now. The residential community. Yeah, so some expensive house them to replace. Him do some refurbishing and the money wash and maybe not have the money for insurance, so the money wash gone. So what him going to do? But this is how the Most High is going to bring down your oppressor. Little by little. when they, by the time they stand up from this flood, something else going to lick them. At the matter of fact, COVID, Delta, and Delta Plus waiting. With the flood, with the flood, China get a flood the other day, which they say 1,000 years ago before they get the amount of water. But all China forget it, you know, and them a build up whole bad dam. Right. Germany got 2 months rainfall in 24 hours. China got 1 year worth in about a day or two. Man, the train station, underground station, them flood out. Yeah, now if you send the rope, they should have washed it. As a matter of fact, when the water starts to recede, they are dead. Both of dead bodies they on the train platform. No matter about 12. China never tell them true mortality rate, you know. Man, I'm more than 12 people dead, man. You know that the tunnel, they don't know if you go up when you're down there. You see people stand up water, they wheel up them chest or something. I mean, you know, the Chinese are some short people, but them one day they look short. And every Chinese man short. There is some water up to the chest. The news say the train, some of the rescuers have to get on top of the train cart and cut the train cart and take up the people in. And the water was rising fast. Yeah. Some serious rising of water. Whoa. All right. Take me now to, this is Isaiah 52. All right, take it home now. We're going into Revelation. Let's see if Revelation is the revelation of Christ. Let's see what Christ have to say about the whole matter. 18 and 6.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 18, verse 6. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double the works.
All right, hold on. Who is, all right, it just says who, but who is it talking about? Let's see what it says. Okay. Read 2 and 3.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 18, verse 2. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird.
Right, so this is talking about Babylon being fallen. Who is Babylon in today? The daughter of Babylon, which is America. Verse 3.
Verse 3. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies.
Right, so they have the 12 tribes under their hand, and all the wealth that the 12 tribes generate unto America, other nations come in and benefited from it. Right? So every nation on the face of the earth is guilty for that. You're going to Miami, there is aircraft from every country in the world fly to Miami. Every country in the world that have an airport fly to somewhere in America. You want to go anywhere in the world, you can go to Miami, and then you go to that country. You transfer to another country. Every country has benefited from the monies America make from the Most High's 12 tribes of people. All right, that was a 2 and 3. All right, drop down to the 6 now.
This is Revelation chapter 18 and 6. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works, in the cup which she has filled to her double.
All right. So that is reparation. Telling you to do twice to her what she did to you.
Right.
That's true reparation. Right? There's no price tag that they can put on the Most High's people. They did not pay the price for destroying Jerusalem. They did not pay the price for destroying Jerusalem again in the time of the Grecians. They did not pay the price. The Assyrians had not paid their price. So all them do have to go find who is from Assyria, all them will go get somewhere too. They have all the nations that have done wrong unto the Israelites have never paid. The Most High has never punished them. But when Christ returned, think of like what happened to China, 1,000 year flood in 24 hours. Well, a flood that has never happened for 1,000 years, happening in one day. So they have not, for thousands of years, they have not been paying for the atrocities that they have committed against us. When Christ comes, they're going to pay in one day. You think it's a flood? It's not flood, then you're going to see it's fire. And it's not the fire like the forest fire, more like the nuclear bomb fire. Right? All right, questions?
Yeah, sir, no question.
Question?
No question.
All right, with that, we pass the class to Priest and Officer Kayadwan.
All right, copy. These are the I.S.U.P.K security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, and the commanding General YAHANNA. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a brother or a sister comes into the school, they are off limit for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the word. After 6 months, if a brother or a sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or a sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6 months period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers 18 and 21 and Malachi 3, verse 8 to 10. Means 10 in the Hebrew and is pronounced by Aisha. 10% of every penny or increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you'd like to give. Upcoming holy convocation is the memorial of the blowing of the trumpet. This is the first day of the 7th month and will be on Monday the 6th of September coming up. You can find this in Leviticus 23 verse 24 to 25. Reminding Akiam and Aquatium to check on social media such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for I.S.U.P.K. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he needs to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, shirt, pants, headband, or scarf. And with that, we say a margin, which means stand. Sarla, which means turn and face the east. We're going to say the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew and then in English. Abanawa.
Abanawa.
Shabashamaya.
Shabashamaya.
Kwadash.
Kwadash.
Aya.
Aya.
Shamka.
Shamka.
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Malakwatka,
Malakwatka,
Taba'a,
Taba'a,
Ratazaka,
Atazaka,
Aya,
Aya,
Aisha,
Aisha,
Barataza,
Barataza,
Kawa,
Kawa,
Aya,
Aya,
Bashemaya,
Bashamaya,
Natananawa,
Latan Lanawa,
Lakam,
Lakam,
Kal,
Kal,
Yawam,
Yawam,
Wasalaklanawa,
Wasalak Lanawa, Kawabwat Nawa, Kasalat Nawa, Kawabwat Nawa, Wala'a, Tabaya Nawa, Panasaya one, Abal, Awashay Nawa,
Maya,
Maya,
Rai,
Rai,
Kaya,
Kaya, we didn't get that.
Amalakwa,
Amalakwa,
Wa'ala,
Wa'ala,
Watapara,
Watapara,
the Iwalamyam,
La'aywalamyam,
Aman,
Ama. In English, our Father which art in heaven,
our Father which art in heaven,
hallowed be thy name.
hallowed be thy name,
Thy kingdom come,
thy kingdom come,
thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven.
thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven.
Give us this day our daily bread,
Give us this day our daily bread,
and forgive us our debts,
and forgive us our debts,
as we forgive our debtors.
as we forgive our debtors,
And lead us not into temptation,
and lead us not into temptation,
or deliver us from evil.
but deliver us from evil.
For thine is the kingdom,
For thine is the kingdom,
and the power,
and the power,
and the glory forever, so be it.
and the glory forever, so be it.
Alright, prayer for the curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh,
Blessed are you, Yahweh,
King of heaven and earth,
King of heaven and earth,
and all things living.
and all things living.
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
in the name of Yahweh,
in the name of Yahweh,
listen to us now,
listen to us now,
right now.
right now.
Send evils and curses,
Send evils and curses,
and punishment and destruction
and punishment and destruction
to the heathen that speak against us,
to the heathen that speak against us,
thy prophets,
thy prophets,
the teachers,
the teachers,
the princes,
the princes,
the priests,
the priests,
the Israelite brothers and the school.
the Israelite brothers at the school.
Send evils and curses,
Send evils and curses,
and punishment and destruction
and punishment and destruction
to the heathen,
to the heathen,
and shake loose the treasures of the rich of Israel,
and shake loose the treasures of the rich of Israel
that refuse to give to the school.
that refuse to give to the school.
Force their riches to enter into thy sanctuary.
Force the riches to enter into thy sanctuary.
The court system,
The court system,
the prison system,
the prison
Planned Parenthood,
Planned Parenthood,
all the government of our enemies,
all the governments of our enemies,
Amalek synagogues and armies,
Amalek synagogues and armies,
Roman Catholic Church,
Roman Catholic Church,
the Pope,
the Pope,
Islam,
Islam,
Christianity,
Christianity,
Egyptology,
Egyptology,
militia,
militia,
Ku Klux Klan,
Ku Klux Klan,
Aryan Nation,
Aryan Nation,
Skinheads,
Skinheads,
Posse Comitazi,
Wasikamatazi,
the gay movement,
the gay movement,
the lesbian movement,
the lesbian movement,
spies,
spies,
workers of witchcraft,
workers of witchcraft,
NASA space programs,
NASA space program,
Army,
the Army,
Navy,
Navy,
Air Force,
Air Force,
Marines,
Marines,
Wall Street,
Wall Street,
open up the internet
open up the internet,
and the airways,
and the areas,
the cable access channels,
the access channels,
and the radio channels.
and the radio channels,
Convict the spirit of any of thy people
convey the spirit of any of thy people
that seeks to stop us
that seek to stop us
and bring swift destruction
and bring swift destruction
to all the heathen that stand in the way,
to all the heathens that stand in the way,
or try to stop us from broadcasting your words
or try to stop us from broadcasting your words
throughout the planet Earth.
through the planet Earth.
Let loose all the plagues,
Let loose all the plagues,
cause them to go to and fro
cause them to go to and fro
through the earth
through the earth
and consume them.
and consume them.
Let the plague shake the house of the thief and the murderer.
Let the plagues shake the house of the thief and murderer.
Let YAHANNA, Michael, and Gabriel
Let your Michael and Gabriel
come down with the flying saucers
come down with the flying saucers
and punish all the heathens
and punish all the heathens
that come up against us
that come up against us
as we speak thy word.
as we speak thy word.
Cause it to be known by all
Cause it to be known by all
that it is the angels that hath done it.
that is the angels that has done it.
Cause it to be spread through the media,
Cause it to be spread through the media,
throughout the whole world.
through the whole world.
Cause them to shake at thy coming.
Cause them to shake at thy coming.
In the name of Yahweh,
In the name of Yahushua.
thank you always, so be it.
And you always so be it. This is the prayer for the poor and evil. Yahweh Bashem Yahushua.
Yahweh Basham Yahweh,
Baba Kosha.
Baba Kosha,
Natan Lanawa.
Nathan Lanawa,
Akak.
Akak,
Akak.
Akak,
Larapa.
Larapa,
Kalmakala.
Kalmakala,
Wakal Madawa.
Wakal Madawa,
Akak.
Akak,
Latahar.
Latahar,
Amatazaraya.
Amatazarayam,
Akak.
Akak,
Lahakwayam.
Lahakwayam,
Amatayam.
Amatyam,
Akak.
Akak,
Ilwakawa.
Ilrakawa,
Atamala.
Atamala,
Nagasha.
Agarasha,
Masham Yahushua.
Basham Yahweh,
Tawada Aman.
Tawada Amen. In English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh,
Yahweh in the name of Yahushua.
please give us the power.
Please give us the power.
The power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease.
Power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease.
The power to cleanse the lepers.
The power to cleanse the lepers.
The power to raise the dead.
Power to raise the dead.
The power against unclean spirits.
The power against unclean spirit.
To cast them out in the name of Yahweh.
To cast them about in the name of Yahawashi.
Thank you, so be it.
Thank you, so be it. Alright, this is the prayer for the blessing. Yahawashi.
Yahawashi.
Barak Lanawa.
Barak Lanawa.
Wayasharala.
Wayasharala.
Waha. Bayatsapaya.
Bayatsapariam.
Barak.
Rapa'a. Magan. Agan.
Commanding General YAHANNA. The generals. The captains. The officers. The troopers. The young men. And the sisters. Basham Yahawashi. Tawada Aman. What we just said, Lord, in the name of Yahawashi, bless us and Israel and the school. Bless, heal, shield, protect our loved ones. In the name of Yahawashi, thank you so much. Islam, which means superb. I'm going to give one credit to the teacher, men of Israel. Amajum Shabbat. Amajum Farak. Yahawashi Yahawashi Dakata. We're going to give one great salute to the sister, men of Israel. Amajum Shabbat. Turn and face the sister. Amajum Shabbat. Shabbat. Barak. Amajum. Barak. Yahawashi. Yarimata, class dismissed.
In this time of the pandemic, where COVID-19 has crippled the world economies, where our government has ordered nationwide shutdown, where hospitals are overwhelmed.
Shortly after, the unthinkable happened.
I was literally stunned and frozen.
And their religious leaders are proven to be frauds. Where do you go to get all your questions answered and to hear what God has to say about this matter? You can only find the answers in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under Commanding General YAHANNA. We give you scriptural breakdowns of world events and the up and coming world war. We will show you in the Bible where the children of Israel, who are the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans today, would suffer slavery in Jamaica, Caribbean, North, Central, and South America, and other parts of the world. We will show you in the Bible where God said He would send plagues upon the earth before He frees people from this captivity.
The World Health Organization has declared coronavirus a global pandemic.
We will give you the true teaching of the Bible, precept upon precept. To learn more, subscribe today. Call the number in the description for I.S.U.P.K Jamaica. Shalom.
All right, everybody, remember to subscribe. You know what I mean? Like the video, share. You understand? Yeah, man. And with that, we say shalom.